Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at blue-white Stiflenought in Thomas format. So this is not quite the Stiflenought you'd be thinking of, but it is pretty similar in a sense that we are cheating out something with the Stifle. So obviously you could cheat out the Solitude with the Stifle, but that's not quite as impactful in my opinion. So there is another card that came out with Edge of Eternities that is a really good target for this, and that is this card called Quantum Riddler. So this is a new card that came out with Edge of Eternities, and considering that it is a 5-mana card, it has a pretty beefy stats. It's a 5-mana 4/6 with flying, which is kind of insane. And basically you can cast this for warp cost, which means at the end of the turn, it is going to get exiled and you can cast this card in the future turns if you have the 5 mana, but you can also just cancel this by just playing out Stifle. And if you do that, the Quantum Riddler just stays on the battlefield, which is pretty sick. Other means of doing this is gonna be through our Felia here. We played 2 copies of it. I would play more copies of Felia if I actually had more targets. Currently, we only have targets for Solitude and Quantum Riddler, and that's really about it. And the other benefits of having Stifle in your deck currently is actually because everybody is running Strip Mine in their deck, which means our Stifle now has other applications other than just cheating out your big creatures. You can also Stifle opponent's Strip Mine so that you blow up opponent's land. And because now that everybody is playing Strip Mine, people are also playing Chrome Moxes in their deck so that they can still play some cards despite not having some lands. Well, that's where the Stifle comes in again. If they Chrome Mox, the ETB triggers, and you can also Stifle opponent's Chrome Mox as well, which is basically going to become a 1-for-1 trade. But most of the times you do want to just use the Stifle as a means to, protect your lands, because at the end of the day, this is going to be kind of a pseudo tempo / control deck, but I would still call this a tempo deck because the goal here is to cheat out the Quantum Riddler and then beat your opponent down while keeping opponents off mana using Strip Mines or Stifle or using counter spells. So with that said, I'm going to be hopping over to some Thomas Plus 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Alright, that's a lot of lands, but you gotta kind of look at Strip Mine as like not technically a land, right? Okay, I don't know what they're playing. Misty Rainforest. Mana Drain. Okay, looks like we're not playing the Strip Mine right now. We're gonna get to it eventually though. Yeah, I believe this is a show and tell. So not a good start for us, honestly. We don't want to see this kind of deck. It is a good thing that we do have a mana drain though. So honestly, the best cards to see are Quantum Riddlers and Felia, stuff like that. Like especially having like triple Strip Mine, like we need to tempo some creatures out while we're doing this, right? But currently we're not doing anything, which is a little bit of a worrisome. So opponent's like pre-fetching. Pre-fetching. So I don't know if they just drew the Chrome Mox right now. I think I'm going to mana drain this thing. Because currently, we're not gonna win like this. So like I have to make some plays here. You know? We're not gonna win with just doing nothing, so... Let's hope that they miss the land and, you know? We're good to go. Nice. If they actually saw my hand, they wouldn't have surrendered, by the way. My hand was absolutely terrible. It was just not it. I just... Wow. If they saw my hand, wouldn't have surrendered. So Prismatic Ending does get rid of things like Chrome Moxes, but obviously, like, I think I'd rather have everything else. Commandeer can be useful against Dig Through Time and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna go down on Swords just because we have a 4 copies of Solitude here. I'm just like wondering if I should just bring Priest. Probably not. Let's just go. So we have a Stifle. I think that is pretty spicy for me to keep. Pretty spicy. Well, I think we have to pass. Because I don't think I want to eat any of these with the Chrome Moxes. Like, it would have to be basically swords, but I don't have any more, like, white cards to cast. But I don't know. Maybe that was wrong. You know what this funny dynamic is? So right now, I have Strip Mine, right? So opponent can't fetch, but then if they fetch, preemptively, because I have Stifle, they get Strip Mined. Like so. Oh my god. That is funny. You know what? Because I have a Quantum Riddler. So I messed up here, right? I messed up here. I should have bottomed this land so that because I was going to play the Strip Mine, I could have actually ran out of Thalia here. But I made a mistake because I'm stupid. We're gonna, you know, run out the Thalia. We're gonna do it here because if they have a mana drain, they're basically wasting it. So this is a problem, right? Because now I want to... They 100% have mana drain, but we can't play any of these cards out. So I could bounce this to grow. I think I'm going to do that. So I kind of have to bluff that I have something right now. They 100% have... This is definitely like a mana drain coming out. The problem is I have nothing at the moment in hand. Stifle? Stifle. I mean, I guess that doesn't really do anything because I already have Elia for the Quantum Riddler. Well, this sucks, doesn't it? So, I mean, I could run into a mana drain. I already strip mine once, and then stifled once. Chances of them having another land could be a little bit low. Because if I cast this, this is 8 mana. They can hard cast an Omniscience if they could. Like, it's just like... I don't know, it's just like a lose-lose situation, you know? Well, do they have it? Okay. Okay, swords, sure. They're definitely leaving up mana drain mana here. We have a Sink into Stupor. I really regret bottoming a Solitude because Solitude would be very nice to just get it out. Yeah, I don't feel so good. Seems like they're about to try to go for the combo here, and I'm gonna lose because they have... I know exactly what they have. They have Mana Drain and Show and Tell here. So, it's an Aatroxa coming out? Okay. It's an Aatroxa coming out. So I'll Sink into Stupor to Show and Tell. Mana Drain comes out. But if it's an Omniscience, I do have to bounce it with the Sink into Stupor. Oh man, this is tough. So it wasn't a mana drain. Okay, so... Huh. That's even more concerning. It was a mana drain. So it was a mana drain. It seems like this is like, this last card might be like... Maybe I let this resolve. Okay, let's think about this. Why would they not cast Mana Drain last turn when I was tapped out? That's because this last card is an Omniscience. So if Omniscience comes down, I sink into Super. And then we want to blow this up so that they don't have a land for another mana drain. I guess they could have a Spell Pierce. So it wasn't a Spell Pierce. It was another Show and Tall. And we got so many bad cards in the hand. So this is a Swords. Oh, we have so many bad cards. So we have to hope for them to draw a land here. They haven't drawn a land in a long time, so... Okay, so we can commandeer what they're trying to play. So I'll play this as a beatdown. I can hard cast Commandeer. I cannot believe it. So we know that this last card is not a Show and Tell. Is not a mana drain because we were able to cast a Solitude. It was an Omniscience. All right. See what we can draw here. Another Solitude. So we just have to... We have a mana drain, so whatever they play, we're basically attacking twice no matter what. Oh my god. What a close game. Very bad matchup, by the way. Very bad matchup. Alright. We have a Stifle. Mana Drain. Beautiful. I think with these kind of style of decks, I really do think in the current metagame, I see a lot of people like complaining about Strip Mines, but I actually really do think Strip Mine is very fair in this format, unironically. And you just kind of have to adjust your deck so that you play a lot of lands. Our deck has 23 lands with 2 Lauren reveals and 4 copies of Chrome Mox. Like, I genuinely feel that that's what you have to do. Just play a lot of lands, things like that, you know? Alright, so... I think we just Hallow the Fountain and pass. So I'm not going to Stifle this, because they can go Chrome Mox and Tomb and then Blood Moon, potentially, right? Because they played Wooded Foothill. So we're going to mana drain this. Unfortunately, we actually don't have a way to deal with that Ancient Tomb or use this mana. So there's that Cub. Drawing a land is actually very, very important here. I really need to draw a land. We did not, but I guess that's fine. Because I need to be able to kill their 4-mana card or 3-mana card with the Swords of Plowshare. So that is 7 cards in the yard. I'm hoping we draw a land because we do play a lot of lands in the deck. Perfect. There comes the Archon. Now we get to play our Riddler. And then hold up a Stifle. Pretty good. So I could even Prismatic Ending that. And then leave up a Stifle. Hopefully nothing too bad happens. Nice, we got to draw 2 cards. I'm gonna use the land instead of the Chrome Mox here. I do really want to draw lands at the moment. So maybe bottoming these are pretty bad. Not sure. Okay. Worries on guard, sure. Mystic Sanctuary for other swords. Draw 2. I'm just going to Solitude now. Oh, that's funny because they can call it before I can even cast it. Opponent goes to 8 and then we deal 7 damage. All right. All right, so this is the... We want to bring a Harbinger of the Season this matchup. Disruptor Flute on the Strip Mine and maybe Surgical on the Strip Mine could be good. 2 copies of Supreme Verdict doesn't seem too bad either, potentially. Like, if I can't cast it, I can just put it on their Chrome Mox anyways. The Stern Scoldings aren't really going to do anything. So we have to cut a lot of cards, obviously. Spell Pierces out. I'm a bit leaning towards, like, cutting, like, Solitude, maybe? The reason why I'm cutting the Solitude is because if the Harbinger does land, then it's kind of hard to cast it, like, you know, fully. Yeah. I can see myself, like, maybe going down on a copy of Riddler. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we have a Strip Mine. Think I have to go Meticulous Archive here. I'm just going to top every land that I see. There's that Strip Mine. So what opponent should have done is they should have actually used the Strip Mine on my turn. So that I use the mana for the Strip Mine on my turn. The Stifle, I mean. So opponent does tap out, so I am going to play the Harbinger out, potentially, but honestly, this card is scary. This card is very scary already. Like, it's a 3/3. Oh, but we have a Chrome Mox, though. Okay, so... I am going to play out the Harbinger now. And I'm going to save the Chrome Mox for white mana. We're gonna take a lot of damage from this card. Hopefully we don't, like, die. Honestly. We also have, two copies of Solitude, too. Okay, we found a Quantum Riddler, and we have a Stifle here, so that's good. I think the mana drains are gonna be useless. So we can double block for a turn, by the way. Might be a mistake, though. I don't know. Yeah, without any mana, maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have just attacked with the Harbinger, since I'm just gonna be blocking with the Riddler here. A Quantum Riddler. Okay, so they don't have a mana. I mean land, so good for me. Okay, so we found the Solitude. We also found a Sink into Stupor, so I think we should be home free from here. So I'm gonna attack with the Quantum Riddler. And then we're going to take that last 4 damage from the cat. Ooh, they found the forest. They found the forest. So this is not over yet. So I have to take the damage to see opponent, like, what they play. Deathray Shaman. I think I definitely need to counter that. Now we're setting up pretty nicely for Treasure Cruise next turn this way. Right? Since we're going to be mana draining as well. And then if we can just find one white source, we can use the Solitude. So Worry Zone Guard comes out. There is just normal lands. We gotta exile 4 cards. Perfect. I think we won. Very good game, opponent. I would have kept this hand if 2 of these were strip mines, but these are just too many lands. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Oh no! No, it's a Prime Titan deck. Oh no. How do I beat this? How do I beat this? When I'm playing this deck? Like, are you kidding me? No way. How does a control, like, blue control deck beat that? I mean, we do have a Murktide at home, so maybe with the Murktide at home? Oh god. So I guess we have to strip mine the Cavern of Souls. The thing is, they can actually cast it, right? With the Castle Garenbrig. And I can't stop it. I mean, if that's what opponent's doing, I'm actually pretty okay with, honestly. Okay. Honestly, a bit scared because I'm actually not really finding much at the moment. So I do have to keep the strip mine. I probably have to keep the sink into stupor. Maybe Stifle has to go. I'm just dying to Layer of Hydra. Oh my god. Okay, like, what's going on? We should have a lot of removal spell for this Layer of Hydra, right? I think I'm just gonna take the damage, honestly. Ha! Ha! So once upon a time... Shifting Woodland, the Arboreal Grazer. Can I find a Quantum Riddler? No. I don't know. Maybe we can win because let's say they activate the Ancient Tomb twice. That's 4 damage, so they go to 6. And then I sink the Stupor. And I attack. That means they have exactly 4 life, so they can't use the Ancient Tomb anymore. Alright. What a bizarre game, by the way. What are we even doing? Search your library for a land card. So I think I have to do this because of Field of the Dead could come out, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's exactly enough. Okay, if they activate the castle here, I mean the gate, that's a lot of damage. So seek a non-land card. Unfortunately, I can't do the Sink into Stupor. I can, however, use Stifle to get rid of opponent's trigger here. It's interesting, actually. So that's a 1/1. They played a land, right? This is the land that they played? Okay, so I solitude the 0-1. As I still have Sink the Stupor. No, I actually probably have to get rid of the Nantuko here. Okay, last turn. Potentially. We do have a Sink into Stupor and a Dream. There's nothing I want to get back. So they can cast it, but they lose the game. Nice. I don't know how we won. But we did it. Alright, Harbinger of Seas. Pretty good. Stifle, I think it's still pretty good, I want to say. Maybe not. So it can stifle things like Primeval Titan, Arboreal Grazer. Maybe it's still good. Like, it also helps casting... I'm cheating out Solitudes and Quantum Riddler. But I guess it's still good. I'm gonna get rid of a Prismatic Ending and probably keep the swords. I think that's really about it. Containment Priest could be helpful against, like, stopping... What is that format card? That, like, Natural Order or something like that? That's about it. But I think I'd rather keep everything. Scary matchup, by the way. Not a good matchup, because usually, like, just having lands on battlefield with, like, Primeval Titan really just stops whatever you're doing. Besides the Brainstorm, I don't quite like this hand. Much better, by the way. Much better. Right, so I have a Sword, Stifle, Mana Drain, and Treasure Cruise, but I have to get rid of one of them. I guess I'm getting rid of Swords. Strip Mine. That's funny. Good thing we have a Stifle. Okay, let's see what opponent is up to. I will take that. So I want to keep the Spell Pierce. Okay, since I have a Riddler, I don't think I have to keep the Treasure Cruise anymore. So I'm gonna do this so I have exactly a Spell Pierce and Stifle here. Not going to use a Strip Mine. Impressive opponent. That was very impressive. Field of the Dead. Okay. Harbinger of Seas. I think it's just way better to just have the Harbinger out immediately. land, I'm just going to Red Alert. Put a stop. Insane. I think we got this. Yeah, I think we got this. Like the fact that the Quantum Riddler is a blue, just a pure blue card, right? It's just so good. It's just so good. All right, so we took a look at this deck today, and honestly, it's been a joy. I am actually in love with this deck. I'm not really sure if it's good, but it is definitely like thought-provoking. So it's been a lot of fun, at least for me. Turns out, all you had to do in order to cast Mana Drain, just play more lands, they say. So currently, at this moment, we are playing 23 lands in the deck. So 21 plus 2 copies of Sink of the Stupor, and 2 copies of Lorien Revealed, and 4 copies of Chrome Mox in the deck. So technically speaking, we are running 29 lands in the deck, which is quite a lot. But the thing is, despite us playing, you know, quote-unquote 29, a lot of the times you're gonna be strip mining. So if you minus the 4 and just kind of consider this as a spell instead of a land, we're running 25 lands together without the strip mine. Even without the strip mine, we are running a lot of lands in the deck, which is kind of crazy. But like I mentioned in the video, during one of the match, you know, opponent's playing a lot of strip mines, and you're also playing a lot of strip mines. So you're going down on lands, opponent's going down on lands, and your opponent blowing up your lands means that you're also going down on lands. So just make your top decks a little bit better by drawing lands, right? So just add more lands and add some ways that opponent can't really interact with, such as the Chrome Mox, if they're like heavy on land destruction. So have some like Chrome Moxes and stuff like that, right? And because we're running a lot of lands, well, obviously like we don't have too many threats that can close out the game like super fast. So this is like definitely not a tempo deck, I would say. You can technically play this as a tempo if you can get the Felly out early, and then if opponent doesn't interact with it, and then you can get, you know, Quantum Riddler down, you could end the game very fast. But because we're only playing 2 copies of Felia, the chance of that happening is fairly low. And the reason why I'm not playing, you know, 4 copies of Felia is because, like, what are we gonna bounce, right? What are we gonna bounce except for this card? So that's kind of a shame that there's nothing much to bounce outside of the Riddler for the Felia. I was kind of considering the Omen of the Seas, but I'm not really a fan of this card. If there were better cards than this, maybe, but like, I mean, like, by itself, it's like whatever. I think I'd rather just play like 2 copies of Felia and just win with these instead. I think the other card that you could play instead of Felia could be the Samwise Gamgee. Not this one, but Samwise the Stout-Hearted. With the flash, whenever, you know, choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the graveyard this turn, return it to your hand. So this is good if you're on the offense with things like Strip Mine, but it's not actually that great if you're on the defense. If opponent uses a Strip Mine, you can flash into Samwise and then get back the land that got destroyed. But the play pattern is actually not in your favor, because if they're smart, they can wait until your upkeep and then blow up your land, which means you have to use some of your mana into casting the Samwise the Stout-Hearted on your turn, meaning that you're going to tap out. So unless you're playing like a tempo deck with you know, a lot of spell pierces, we do play a lot of spell pierces, so potentially you could do that, but not a big fan of this card. But it is definitely an option you can take. As for like the removal spell choices, obviously Stifle is very good with Solitude and Quantum Riddler, but it can also act as like a land destruction for opponent's fetch lands and, you know, blowing up opponent's strip mines and things like that, which is pretty funny. But you can also stop things like Chrome Moxes as well. if opponent plays a Chrome Mox. Basically, the Stifle trades for opponent's Chrome Mox, which is kind of cool. Speaking of a Chrome Mox, that's what the Prismatic Ending is for. Not only does this get around opponent's Chalice of the Void, but it can also get rid of a Chrome Mox. And again, speaking of a Chalice, Felia can also get rid of Chalice as well. So Felia, Prismatic Ending, that is going to be our way of getting rid of opponent's Chalices. And because we're playing 4 Cups of Solitude, I could only fit in 3 Cups Source of Plowshare. So yeah, that is basically it for this video. Oh, I guess I could touch a little bit up on the sideboard. So the Consign to Memory does actually work with Quantum Riddler's the warp effect. So you could, like against Eldrazi's, you want to bring this, like, you know, -2 Stifle for 2 copies of Consign to Memory. So that's something you can do. This Containment Priest is going to be for the Show and Tell / Sorin matchup. You don't want to bring this against a Show and Tell deck, but it's the deck that's playing both the Show and Tell and Sorin to cheat in Elendas, right? And that'll also work with Felia. So if they already have something down on the battlefield, you play Containment Priest, you attack with the Felia, and then exile something. Just watch out, now that you have a Containment Priest on the battlefield, the Felia plus Riddler actually doesn't work anymore. And Harbinger of Seas, very, very good against decks that are trying to turbo strip mine you. You can even play this on turn 1 or 2 with the Chrome Moxes, so that's really good against their deck. And we're playing 2 copies of Supreme Verdict instead of something like Wrath of the Skies, because we are playing 4 copies of Chrome Moxes. We don't want to, you know, destroy our land base, right? And 2 copies of Commandeer versus like Show and Tell, you can steal their like Dictator Time or any spell that lets them draw 2 cards. And obviously, you would bring this against like Ultra decks and stuff like that. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.